All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Joshua Dickey. I'll be reading from my book, A Patriot's Journey Forging Hope. And once again, I like to start off the session by just kind of giving an inspirational quote or um, inspirational thought of the day. So, the thought today is a happy life includes finding joy in small things, doing less, and observing more. It, I find it to be the truth. You go out and um, go out in the woods and you shut your mouth and you open your ears and you'll start hearing sounds you never heard before, enjoying God's green earth, and you see how small you are in this big world of ours, and I think that's the point. The point is you're very small in this vast world, so take advantage of it. Excuse me. All right, you guys know I write about everything and anything because this is basically my life. Um, Good times, bad times, hard times, sad times. I pretty much go through the gamut with you guys, and I am not afraid to throw out there what I do, what I think, what I feel about any issue topic, because I know if I'm going through it, then chances are somebody else has too. And once again, we're not unique, not special. As long as there's been fighting, there's been people that have suffered in some form or way through traumatic injuries, and it's only the strong ones that actually admit that they have problems. They come forth and they say, "Hey, I'm not going to self-medicate. I'm not going to, no longer use my family as a human punching bag, and I'm going to better myself." And so that's where we are today. Always trying to better ourselves. But the poem today actually was about my dog. My first dog I had. He lived to be pretty old, actually, about 15 years old. So this poem's called Good Dog. It said, I had an amazing, though his name was Ninja. He could chase after my little girls and try to catch you. He always seemed to know when I was sad. He would just linger around the room if I was mad. He was super quiet, and you'll never know he was there. But when you called his name, he would show with care. He would count on him to protect everyone in the house. It didn't matter if it was a big moose or a tiny mouse. He'll live his life to care for me. Nothing was too much or too powerful to handle, you see. I could tell he was my I could tell him my deepest, darkest things from the past. Once saying to him with no judgment, I feel better fast. He would lie on my feet, keeping them warm. He is how we cared, a nightly norm. Dog really is man's best friend. They will love you and be loyal to the end. I recommend a dog for anyone with PTSD. They will help you grow and get better, you see. When you were scared and afraid at night, you can hang on to the dog tight. Find a dog and don't let him go. True friendship and love will be all you know. It's that dog Ninja, man. He was probably one of the best dogs I ever owned. He was a rescue, actually. And how we found him is we went to the pound and we were just looking at dogs, and little Delaney was probably 2.5, almost 3 at the time, and all these other dogs were yapping and coming to the front of the cage, and this guy was just sitting there, and then Delaney just reaches her hand in this fence, and before I could get to her and tell her to stop doing that, he kind of comes over there, sits right by her hand, and just kind of has the hand sitting on him. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is the kind of temperament dog that is going to be perfect for my house. And we had him for many, many, many years. And he did help me with a lot of different things. And he was always there, no matter what. I'd get up, he'd get up with me, walk around room to room, and I'd sit down, he'd lay down on my feet. And I'd go do something else, and he'd go. But then when Delaney would go to bed, he would know, okay, now I'm the protector time, and he would go upstairs, and he would lay down next to Delaney's bed, or I'd walk by the room, and he would jump in her bed. I didn't really allow it, but that's where he would be, and he wouldn't move all night long, and he would just stay there. And you can't buy that kind of protection anywhere, and you can't buy that kind of friendship or commitment from anything in the world. Something that loyal, and he wasn't even just that, I guess, loyal to me. I mean, my dad came and visited us, and he took him for a walk one morning, and basically he went toe to toe with a moose for a little bit, so my dad and my mom can get out of there. That's just, I mean, he was all right. Nothing really happened of it. But that's the kind of dog he is. He knows when to protect. He knows when to comfort. He knows when, you're just having problems. And I think that's why they recommend so much that people with PTSD get service dogs, is so you can get used to having that commitment to that person, or that, I'm going to call it a person because it's somebody you're going to talk to and you're going to confide in, and they're going to be there for you regardless of what you're thinking or feeling, or how bad you're hurting. They're just always going to be there, and they're going to depend on you, and you're going to depend on them, and it's just going to be a bond that's going to be unbreakable. And then it'll actually help you feel safer when you go out, because a lot of times people don't like going out in large crowds. Well, when you start getting all antsy, your dog can feel that, and at times will just start pulling you away from whatever it feels is the danger area, kind of out of harm's way, till it feels that you've settled down, and then you take back over and you're like, okay, I'm cool now. I just couldn't speak highly enough of dogs, and yeah. Okay, the next poem. It's called Growth. It's amazing how old songs bring you back. It's funny how hanging with old friends, how you talk a little smack. Why do people dwell on the one place they can't go? Besides it being familiar, safe place you already know. I'm done looking at the passport into a future to come, with a great MIT saying, come get some. Life isn't always what you make of it. Sometimes in life you just have to take it. You don't have control over who lives or dies. You can't control who laughs or cries. People make it their big thing that they carry through. Really, it's a bunch of things here. Who knew? Don't worry about what others got. You're right where you need to be in that exact spot. As long as you look in the mirror and say, I did my best, then I say, who cares, to the rest. Don't worry about anything. Life is about growing. To help others to go like you, be a good example by showing. See, you're the only one who lives in the past, so switch how you live and make it fast. Far too often, I am hardest on myself. If I expect something from others, and then I expect even more from myself. And I think that's why I struggle with a lot of different things. Just because of that standard I set. And I'm not happy with mediocre art being mediocre. I shoot for excellence. I expect my kids to do the best that they can. And as long as they can look me in the eye and say, yeah, I did the best that I can. And then, hey, then good. If that's the best you got, then hey, I can't ask any more of you. That is the best you can do. And the problem is that you have to take in consideration who you were is not who you're going to be now. People change. You change. You get older. Like it or not, you're going to get slower. A lot of us put on weight. So your body's changed. Your attitude changes towards things. What used to be priority one is no longer a priority anymore. Going out on the weekends. It used to be like, oh yeah, looking forward to the weekend. Yeah, we're gonna party. Now it's just like, hey, it's the weekend. Cool. Now I'm hang out with my family and be in bed by 9. It's how you do things is completely different. But that's not a bad thing. It's just a change that you gotta get used to. And boy, it's taken me a long time to get used to it, because at the same time you want to get used to it, you're still grasping at a prior life that you used to have and almost kind of still want. You used to being gone all the time, or I was gone all the time. I got to see new places all the time. I got to meet new people all the time. And then all of a sudden, nothing. You're in one spot day after day after day, doing the same things or some similar. So you're no longer traveling, no longer doing all this other stuff. And you have other responsibilities. And so that adjustment is really, really difficult. Probably more difficult for the younger guys, just for the fact that you are young, so you're gonna have to really pick and decide what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. A little easier for the older guys, because it's kind of still the same. Your kids are gonna have the activities, and you're still gonna do what you do, go to work or whatever. But it's your mind that's having the hard time. Your body's already told you more than once you can't do stuff, and it's your mind that's just saying yes you can. And I find myself being the butt end of a lot of jokes in my house, because my little girls do gymnastics, and I remember when I used to be able to walk on my hands and do backflips and show them all these things, and because I used to be able to do all those things, and my mind still tells me I can, and so I'd go to try to do them, and yeah, not even close. And then they catch it on film, and then they have a good laugh, and everybody has a good time, but me, because then I realize I'm not as young as I once was, and I can't do the same things that I used to. But one thing I can do now is, since I have a lot of life experiences, I can mentor the younger generation to look at things differently. And that's the real point of this book, is to just, it's another way of receiving basically guidance. I'm hoping the poem that tells the story, radiates with you. And then all of a sudden, maybe I give a little brief background on the story, and then it really clicks with you, and it sounds like your life. And just knowing that, hey, you will get better. Things do get easier. It's just a state of mind. You just got to keep working at it. And Forging Hope Poetry at gmail.com is the email address. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd love to hear from you. If not, please share my channel. Tell people about my book. This isn't just geared towards vets, even though that's what I am. It's for anybody with traumatic experiences, because I believe, you can learn a lot from hearing other people's stories and experiences, and you can start seeing the, light at the end of the tunnel, and because the struggles don't always last forever. Well, thank you for your time, and thanks for listening, and I will see you tomorrow.